Travels invite death. Okay. Hello, everyone. Good old Bradbury here. And today, we're going to be playing Roadwarden. This is a game that I have had on my wish list for some time and have heard many great things about and seen some good reviews, yet I have not played it. This game actually got its final update in September and everything, so it's supposed to be completed besides some bug fixes and everything, and I've heard really great things but haven't looked much into it. Roadwarden is an illustrated, text-based RPG where you're a person that travels the countryside protecting people from like bandits and monsters and things like that. From what I can tell, I've heard it is really story driven and just really well done, but I've tried to refrain from watching too much of it to not spoil myself, and I decided to finally grab it since it was on the Steam winter sale. Without further ado, let's start the new year playing Roadwarden. Everyone knows to stay away from the wilderness. Most people would never risk a lonely journey. Roadwardens not only accept this struggle, they embrace it. They deliver messages, assist merchants, burn human corpses, and, if possible, get rid of the beasts and highwaymen. They live on the road, die young, or retire early. A dangerous job, but a respectable one, and it pays well. With all of my doubts, I leave the safety of the city walls. So since it is text-based, it's going to be a lot of reading, which is a little different for me. You're going to have to bear with me. I do have my tea with me today, just because I think I am getting sick, but we're going to power through. Oh, and as always, if you guys do enjoy this, by all means let me know. I will put a link in the description below if you have not heard of Roadwarden before, so you can check it out for yourself. Let's leave the safety of city walls and continue, shall we? I need to turn the music down a little bit more as well. Difficulty mode. Can't be altered later on. Focus on the story. No time limit, more cash. Some quests are more forgiving. 40-day time limit, regular rule set, standard. You know what? I think we'll just do standard. The wall is still standing. There are no wolves around, no stench of blood. Good signs. This should be the place you're looking for. You were supposed to meet with a group of soldiers, but you hear no voices, no sounds of labor. The gate is ajar, but the camp isn't safe. It may keep away the goblins and pebblers, but not beast folk nor trolls, and the night is near. Your palfrey breathes heavily. It had a long day. Look for another shelter. Look around cautiously. Dismount and sneak to the gate. Peek inside. I get off the horse and enter the camp briskly. Let's look around. 30 minutes before dusk. You save. Okay, we'll look around cautiously. Can I look at settings real quick? I enjoy the music, but it is quite loud in my ears. Considering the noise, you doubt that anyone noticed the clatter of hooves. The short, dry grasses barely cover the arid soil of this valley, but you're maybe a minute away from the edge of the sparse woods, which get denser as they climb up the hills. At best, this trail has a few more years before getting overgrown for good. Hard to believe it's the only route north. Okay, so we have the same stuff. Let's sneak to the gate. Let's be sneaky. Your heavy boots hit the ground, and the pain of the long ride finally catches up with you. You stretch out, bringing your back and legs comfort. All you want now is a table, a decent chair, a nice mug of beer, and some warm stew. With any luck, your axe won't be needed here. Take care of yourself. If you're hurt or exhausted, some actions won't be available to you. The weaker you are, the higher the chance you'll die in combat. I feel well. 3 out of 4. Okay. Approach the gate slowly. If it's a military camp, it doesn't look the part. Plenty of wasted space. The fire pit is cold. 2 people are sitting at the table, tired and disheartened. They're looking in different directions, paying no attention to one another. One of them is holding a cup. After a moment, you notice the quiet humming. You recognize the melody of a light-hearted drinking song from the city harbor. They sound nice enough. Let's enter. It takes them a few breaths to glance in your direction. The first person greets you with a wave of his hand. There are bags under his eyes. His beard is messy. Despite his simple shirt, he's wearing durable, decent boots. A mace, with the head covered in iron, hangs at his side, but he doesn't reach for it. Take a look at the second soul. Just like you, she's wearing a gambeson, but hers is a bit loose, as if she took it off a corpse. Her head is shaven, as if she's protecting herself from flesh-eating bugs. Her eyes are wary, yet kind. She smiles. Considering the squad was sent here half a year ago, these 2 surely look the part. Though there should be more of them. 8, you believe. Ask about the lieutenant. No, when you're unsure of something, you should let other people speak first. From what I've heard. I'm gonna take a drink of water real quick. Well, tea. Alright, let's let them speak first. It's nice to see an unharmed traveler in this godforsaken shithole. Makes me just a tiny bit hopeful. Bearded man's voice is strong, yet timid. He'll be staying the night with us, I guess. We're soldiers, he and I, adds the armored woman. Her voice switches from half asleep to relaxed. We'll do our best to keep the camp safe, but if you were to take first watch, it would be a huge help. Travelers ought to help each other, wouldn't you say? You think for a moment. To fully rest, you'd need a good sleep. We'll start out. Let's save. And we will start out being nice. Fantastic. She rubs her hands together. I don't remember the last time I had more than a half a night of sleep. The hours before midnight should be the calmest. Just wake us up if anything happens. The man flashes you a wide smile. It's easy to wake us up. Just yell. He drinks from his mug. Okay, now we ask about Lieutenant. You wonder how to phrase your question. Whenever you meet new people, you can influence how they perceive you by selecting one of the attitudes. Oh, okay. Friendly, playful, distant, intimidating, vulnerable. They're being nice, so we'll be friendly. Could we talk for a bit? The woman lets out a loud sigh, dusts off her gambeson, and steps toward you. She pays little attention to the sword at her side. We most definitely can, you and I. Though holding this rank is still somewhat new to me. Are you a messenger? Did you lose your mount? She observes you with curiosity, or are you looking for help? I'm your new Roadwarden. My horse is waiting outside. Really? The soldier in the shirt leans forward. That explains how you got here in one piece, all by yourself. Better bring your beast here, adds the lieutenant. We have no hay, but I bet it dreams of dropping its saddle. A long pause. I'm Tulia, by the way. She reaches out her hand. Maybe a trap, I gesture for her. Stop pretending to be embarrassed. Watch myself, but you can call me. Nah, I'll shake her hand. Bye. Her grasp is confident, the shake is slight. Just keep your horse away from the tents. She steps away. We don't need to smell its dung. Ah, there's this one issue. The soldier in the shirt also rises to his feet. We've no tent to spare. You'll have to use a blanket or something. I'll be positive. No problem. I enjoy observing the stars. You walk through the gate. Your mount looks around and snorts anxiously. Not many humans could ride a horse. It's not only taller than you, but also bulky, as heavy as it is strong. You can get in the saddle within a single breath, but most people wouldn't know where to even begin. From every side, it's a wall of flesh. Horses were brought to the Dragon Woods from the conquests in the south. They can trot for a long time, but won't outrun some of the local monsters. Your palfrey needs to survive, but without it, you too would be lost. Only companion here, I wanted to feel at ease. I don't care how it feels, but I need to be strong if I want to travel. You know, it's my companion. Treat your animals well and they'll treat you well. Takes a few steps towards you, scolding you with another snort. You scratch the bottom of its neck with strength and confidence just the way it likes it. Humans see useful animals, and even pets, as monsters in disguise. Getting emotionally attached to them is believed to lead humans to their doom. But you know that horses need companionship. I speak to it gently and lead it to the camp. You end up next to the fire pit. Removing the saddle makes the horse snicker with relief. You take a couple of minutes to examine its back just in case. While the riding equipment is not that heavy for such a strong animal, with enough time, it starts to chafe. You wish it had something better to eat than this shabby grass. You should look for an inn. Need to unpack. You haven't brought that many things, and you lost one of the sacks while fleeing the Crimson Corpse Eaters. I don't know what those are, okay? Worst of all, you have no rope left, but maybe the soldiers could share one. Shouldn't cost more than a dragon bone. Aside from the travel set, you own a few valuable possessions essential for your trade. Okay, so I pick a trade. Well, classes. I spent my savings on decent combat equipment. I have a fine gambeson, an axe made of steel, and a reliable crossbow with quirls. Okay, mage. I have talismans that help me use my powers, as well as an iron axe and a worn gambeson. Or scholar. I carry writing instruments and alchemical ingredients, as well as an iron axe, a worn gambeson, and a small healing potion. I can learn more. Well, let's keep going. I want to be a fighter. I typically like that kind of set. That kind of class. Inventory to see my possessions. Unless you're occupied with another task, you can eat food, drink potions, and use your items from this menu. Be sure to click on each new item you receive, as some of them can have unusual applications. Food rations. They consist of dried meat, crackers, nuts, seeds, fruits, and water, which boil slowly and don't require additional cooking. Under merchandise, we have a pouch with coins. The city artisans make coins by cutting dragon bones into slices. They are valued by merchants, though rarely used in the countryside. Our equipment, we have a gambeson, a padded defensive jacket made of linen filled with rags. It's the cheapest type of armor, yet surprisingly effective, and as a result, very common. And the travel set. Your sack contains all sorts of useful tools. And then we have our battle axe and a crossbow. Traveling with an axe shows that you've learned how to fight humans and human-sized monsters, while having a weapon made of steel makes it clear that you are someone to be reckoned with. And then the crossbow, we have 3 bolts, it looks like. Difficult to make and valued for their usefulness, crossbows can be used even by an inexperienced traveler and can pierce most scales and armors. Okay, you unpack and inspect your belongings. Your water skin isn't pierced. The spare clothes are still here. Just in case, you take a look at your wooden bowl and mug. Your cape, tinderbox, bandages, food rations, knife. Nothing special or too cumbersome. What is this? Taking hits will damage your armor. You can then fix it in various settlements. Okay, so we're 3/4 on armor. It will stop even a life-threatening strike. With your current gambeson, it's the best protection you can get. Okay. From time to time, your routine helps you avoid mistakes, but this doesn't make it any more exciting. Take another drink real quick. This is a lot. This is a lot. They're at the table again, observing your beast and chatting between themselves. Your stomach growls at the sight of them, eating out of wooden bowls. One more bowl is put at a previously unused end of the table. You can sit down on a tree log. Join them. Thank them for a meal. I don't want to eat with them. I sit down and ask Tulia what she can tell me about this area. Let's take a look. It's called gruel, the meal eaten in times of hardship. This specific bowl is filled with water, hog millet, some strange looking cereals, and blueberries. Welcoming you with a meal, even a humble one, is beyond their duty. Soldiers live with and for their companions, constantly on the move from one part of the realm to another, making sacrifices to protect their group as they face dozens of hideous creatures. Their lives are filled with discipline, hardship, and camaraderie. Roadwardens, on the other hand, learn how to work by themselves. They seldom engage in open combat. Controlling the same roads for years, they help the settlements stay in touch, but also maintain commerce, settle down, forge friendships. When there are no laws to follow, they use their own judgment. Different responsibilities, different lifestyles. Okay, so there's a hunger mechanic too, huh? Keeping your stomach full will make you stronger. Starvation won't allow you to restore vitality while resting, and you can find your supplies in the inventory. I eat quickly, not focusing on the taste, then speak with Tulia. She's focused and chooses her words carefully. She looks away only when she gathers her thoughts. I'm afraid I can tell you less than I would like to and less than I should. She nods toward the other soldier. As you can see, there's not a lot of us left. At the beginning of summer, there were 8 of us, including our previous lieutenant. 5 are dead, 1 has run away in tears. We're also strangers in this land, adds her companion. Any piece of information will help me do my job, that's fair. The man leans forward. His legs shake nervously. He sounds like a kid asking a bard to sing one more story, tell a joke, or do a magic trick. Whatever it takes to escape from boredom. His untrimmed beard hides a much younger face than you originally thought. What did the officials tell you? I expect not that much. No soul governs these lands. I don't know. I'm gonna be nice for now until it backfires, and then I'll be cold and mean, I guess. I share what I consider to be relevant. You tell the soldiers how little guidance you've received, since this area is too far away from Hablavan. I think that's how you say it. To keep it under control, you were warned that it's untamed and unknown. Who knows how many villages, bandits, or monsters may be found in these unmapped hills and forests. From time to time, new people come here to look for boundless opportunities. Most of them never return. Do they turn into walking corpses, or find what they're looking for? No soul could tell me, so I was looking for your guidance. Well, that's a lot of choices, holy cow. The lieutenant drinks from her cup and crosses her legs, ankle on knee. Seeing her chair makes you doubt she'll ever find a comfortable position. Oh, okay. Where should we start? Should I know about the peninsula? Any ideas what happened previous Roadwarden? Lost my rope? I think we're gonna have to go through like... Oh, I have to ask about these 3. The peninsula, the Roadwarden, and the rope. Excuse me. What should I know about the peninsula? I'll tell you what I know, and you'll be the judge, says the lieutenant. How long did it take you to get here from the city? A decent palfrey, I'd guess it would be 3-4 days. When you confirm, she continues. From here, you can reach the coast in about a day, as long as you don't make any stops. Do you know the situation? Why no ships can get here? You nod. The sea route allows Hablavan officials to keep in touch with the coastal villages, collect taxes, move the soldiers, collect lumber, deliver tools. But maintaining order on a wild coast such as this one is like filling the ocean depths with coins. Because of the rocks, you can hardly stop a ship 5 miles from the shore, and boats can't get much closer. Oh, so it's a rough shoreline. She nods. I don't know much about fishing, but there's not that many people living by the shore, and they don't crave to stay in touch with the city folk. As she pauses, her companion carries on. No soul from the north ever came to the camp, but when we traveled to the roadside inn, held to the north, they're happy to trade and play dice. Why not stay at one of the settlements? The man clears his throat. I mean, we're to guard this road. This camp is our post, and, well, he turns toward Tulia. She lowers her voice. Don't take it the wrong way, Bri, but are you a devout soul? Fellowship, pagan. There's no evidence. Okay. Church. Like most city folk, I believe that people should unite their strength to overcome the threats of nature and dark magic. Everyone will be judged for both good and evil deeds. I'm a part of the United Church. For many years, I've supported a monastery that does its best to advance mankind's spiritual growth, artistry, herbalism, and magical research. I follow the teachings of an order of truth. Okay? I'm from a small village. For me, the freedom of shell, pneuma, and soul are the main virtues of life. My community is unique and independent, and so are its members. I have a place in my fellowship. I have a strong connection to nature and spirits, and follow the path of my ancestors. Some of my beliefs may be considered sinister and treacherous by the city folk. You'd probably call me a pagan. There's no evidence of the right's existence, and all the mystical tales are explained by magic. No, I'm not. That's like atheist type thing. You know what? Just for fun, I think we're gonna go pagan. A pagan Roadwarden. The man scratches his head without the slightest subtlety. Now I'm sure we can have a conversation. We're civilized people. Lieutenant clears her throat. I'm from the United Church, but I'm not a priest or anything, and definitely not a zealot. An awkward pause. The United Church has spilled the blood of countless pagan tribes, making it clear that who's not with them is against them. Your family shared gruesome stories about the atrocities committed by the priests against your ancestors. Yeah, I'm not looking for squabbles. I chose pagan for fun. The people here are disquieting. Every few words, she taps the table with her finger. Their traditions won't help them negotiate with the officials here. She starts to draw lines with her index finger as if she's pointing at an invisible map. The peninsula is connected with roads, like a big circle. In the northwest, you'll find a weird village at a bog. It's not exactly pagan, I don't think. It even has a priest who claims to be an eremite. You nod, she means a fellowship. They do crazy shit, her companion chips in. They use the dead to cut down trees and dig in soil. Once I saw it, I begged to never return there. I see. You've heard tales such as this one since you were a child. If an isolated settlement manages to survive without a city's influence, its customs and traditions grow more and more alien. Every generation learns how to adapt to the dangerous conditions they have to deal with, and the rustic pagan traditions muddy their river of faith. The United Church often warns its members about the crazy druids, necromancers, and blood mages, bringers of doom, the traitors to humankind. Were you able to speak with the necromancers? How about the East? Any monster worth mentioning? Anything that catch my mount? All I need to know. Whoops. Is there any monsters that can catch my mount? We saw all sorts of beasts. The man starts to count on his fingers. Goblins, tree ants, cats large and small, runners, howlers, wolves, spiked boars, mouflon eaters, griffins. But we managed to stay away. Some could catch up with most mounts. Julia glances at her companion. Though a palfrey should be fine. The trees are so tall that the flying creatures keep to the coast and mountains. There's not that many humans around, and the animals are busy fighting among themselves. They fight more for food than territory. The soldier cracks his knuckles. Don't provoke them and ride fast, just count on luck. Let's get all the dialogue, why not? You can see why we are not eager to go there if we could avoid it. The lieutenant chuckles. Maybe they'll be more welcoming to a Roadwarden. The roads are dangerous, with little to no shelters. People need your help. The man in the shirt turns a bit and points a finger to the northwest. If you're heading to the undead village, you'll get to an inn first, and soon. Julia nods. Pelt to the north is a safe place. You can talk with the innkeep or the guards. Ask them about the road. How about the east? She stares off across the camp. Hard to tell. We went there only once. There are hills, forests, rivers. We saw a tunnel sculpted in leaves and branches, but we didn't enter it. Wilderness all around. That's all I need to know. She nods. I'm afraid we can't do more for you. Okay. So now I gotta ask about the Roadwarden and the rope. And more if I want. This first episode is going to be a lot of just getting started and getting into it. I did read that it takes a little bit to get into. Then you start doing things, so we got to do a lot of... What's the beginning part of a story called? I can't remember for the life of me at the moment, but you know what I'm talking about. We got to get into it first. Okay, so any ideas what happened to the previous Roadwarden? Julia takes a deep breath. Aren't you a bit late for a rescue mission? We haven't heard from him for almost half a year. The soldiers speak for a bit between themselves, trying to get their story straight. They confirm that he had stopped by their camp a few times, but stopped showing up at all in early summer. The bearded soldier starts to scratch the table with the tip of his knife without looking at you. I don't remember his voice. Always busy, drowning in things to take care of. He would sit somewhere, sharpen his sword, fix his loud mail, clean clothes, write notes on the wax tablet of his. Yep, and leave at dawn. Unlike us, Asterion never gets bored. Julia lets out a joyless chuckle. He's secretive, but some of the locals speak about him warmly. Maybe he just doesn't like us. Sounds like you're not sure if he's dead or not. If anyone knows, they won't tell us. Maybe someone is keeping him in a basement. The man carves with passion. We haven't seen him or his Saurian. Something ate them, I bet. The officials have hired you, right? They don't expect him to return. Richer road wardens often use four-legged, meat-eating saurians as their mounts. They have to be tamed and trained since they're hatching, but, unlike horses, can easily defend themselves from many monsters. At least your palfrey is fast and reliable, and won't suddenly sink its teeth into an innocent passerby. Do you know what he's looking for? Maybe he left you a message? Neither one of us had any insight into his dealings, says Julia. My predecessor left me no clues. We also took a look at Asterion's stuff. Wait. She raises her open palm. I almost forgot. She stands up and heads to a nearby tent. He has kids in a village near Havlavon. I was planning to take all his things there. A pouch, a second spear, a decent bow, some potions. Quite a treasure. She glances at you. But I would much prefer to bring them the truth about their father. So you want me to find out what happened to him in exchange for his stuff? Here's the catch. She dusts off the hilt of her sword. We've hired a messenger to ask the commanders for further orders. Since she hasn't returned and you know nothing about her, she either ran away or something happened to her. She sighs with resignation. We are meant to stay here until fall. What do you think? Come see us, tell us what you've learned about the man, and we'll get back to Havlavon together. You think about your real mission. You were planning to return to Havlavon in the early fall anyway. If he's alive, I don't think he's going to be happy about me taking away all of his possessions. Find the Roadwarden, okay? Where's my... Dang, time's passing. Okay, I see. True, but he's considered dead. I doubt he'd begrudge you anything. And who knows, you may just find his shell lying on the roadside tomorrow. He wears mail, uses a spear, mostly. Maybe 5 feet tall, but stout. Long, red beard, short hair, pale face. Rarely smiles. She glances at her companion, but after he adds nothing, she sits down and stretches out her legs. To find out what happened to him, dead, alive, left. Just let me know. Okay, so there's still a lot more. Let's just go down the line. Okay. I've lost my rope. Could you spare one? You're in luck. She heads towards one of the crates and moves aside a large linen sack, revealing a rope. She brings it back and nonchalantly sits down on her chair. Take it. I was planning to leave it behind. A fine rope. A regular rope made of hemp fibers. I don't have to buy it. I get it for free. I take it and offer some food in return. I don't have a lot of food. Julia nods. For now, you leave the rope on table. Okay, what happened to your squad? The man shrugs. Nighttime. Bandits happen, and monsters. A strong band, though, his companion chips in. When we got to the peninsula in spring, we saw some people living in this camp. The lieutenant decided to avoid it and look for an inn. We had to travel through the night for a bit. The bearded soldier scoffs and crosses his arms, but she carries on. If he had decided otherwise, we would all have died that day. The innkeeper explained that the camp is a trap, that the armed ones pretend to be soldiers. Stay there at night, lose everything you have. Sounds like slave hunters. Tulia sighs. Very much so. They killed some and took others away. Who knows where? They were letting the northerners go, hoping to avoid their wrath. It kind of worked, adds the soldier. We asked them for help, but they refused. We had to clear the entire camp on our own, and that's why 3 of our people died. Don't exaggerate. It's not like the lieutenant didn't make a mistake. He wanted to get rid of them and take over their camp, but we didn't know our enemy well enough. We were outnumbered, and they had an ice mage among them. She looks at you. At least we cleared the road. Saved lives. And monsters? Nothing that would surprise you. Those of us who survived the skirmish were young, too inexperienced to spend a summer in this place without a good leader. And they didn't trust me. One of them got caught by a treant. Another one ignored my orders to perform some sort of ritual hunt, so a werebear tore her to pieces. The last one tried to act tough, didn't tell us that he had cut his hand while cleaning his gambeson. She lets out a ghastly chuckle. We had to cut it off, and he was so ashamed that he decided to walk north, find a new life, and disappear. Idiot. What a colorful journey. The man tries to drink from his mug, but it's empty. I'm gonna stay silent. Tulia seems defeated. I mean, I don't completely blame her. It sounds like a lot has happened. Alright. Okay, let's ask her about... Well, I don't know what to do, because I want to learn everything. But time still passes while we're doing this. And so it seems to be... You gotta balance it. I'll probably ask this one and then we'll call it, but let's check on food first. The fresh snacks spoil fast outside of a cellar, while long-lasting foods are either expensive, like honey or dried meat, or require cooking before consumption, like beans or grains. Most travelers spend their nights in taverns, huts, and villages, where they can trade for cheap, warm meals, or even eat leftovers for free. As a result, food rations are eaten only when necessary. I can't use my inventory right now, so it doesn't matter. You or me, where would you go next? The soldier answers quickly. To the inn, of course. He grabs his empty mug. The one northwest from here. If you can't afford the room, the main hall is free of charge. The locals rarely gather there. The northern road is much more traveled, mentions Tulia. But the hunters will tell you about this and that, and you'll have a chance to introduce yourself. The innkeeper can listen and knows many souls. Any tips on how I can make a good first impression on him? She smirks. Avoid cheap jokes. Stick to trade. Don't waste his time. Show him that you can be relied on. Okay, I think I know everything I need. Are you sure? Says the bearded man. We may not be around the next time you come here. That's fair, I guess. Let's just go through it. That's not much of a story, honestly. She looks at her hand, which is currently rolling a mug over the table. In the city, there's a strict order of... What should I call it? She exchanges looks with her companion, but he can't help her. Well, leadership succession, I guess. Avlaban chief selects commanders, those select lieutenants, and those put their soldiers in order of priority. If the lieutenant dies, they get replaced by the next soldier in line. Nah, not exactly. When we fought the bandits, our lieutenant was hit by a slingshot. His boyfriend jumped to help him, but failed to protect either of them from a spell. It was like a ball of ice that hung above them and exploded, piercing their heads, completely avoiding their shield. Really unpleasant. He pauses. You were the third one line. Yeah. Basically, yeah, she says without enthusiasm. I didn't plan to become a leader, though. I'll get demoted once we return to the city. I prefer to follow anyways. What was your mission? Lieutenant looks into your eyes. You know, the usual. Making the roads safe, keeping people alive. I explained that it may be important for me to know that what they have tried to accomplish. I can't really tell you. Let's just say it would be nice to have a reliable outpost somewhere nearby. A place where you can always find a group of fighters willing to protect you in the name of the law. She tilts her head back. Now, if you have any other questions. Tell me about the camp, please. The story is brief. Some merchants built the camp to have an extra stop for mules and donkeys, just between the inn and the southern villages. There's plenty of grass here and a pond nearby. When the peninsula grew more dangerous, the camp stood abandoned, from time to time serving as a shelter for travelers. Bandits came here in spring, further paralyzing the exchange of information between the northern and southern settlements. Since these highwaymen are no more, the situation may reverse. Time will tell. You can sleep here wherever you want. The man concludes their tale, though don't expect to wake up without a pain in your back. We should prepare for the night. I agree, Tulia sighs with relief. And may you do better than Asterion did. Is that the other Roadwarden, I think? Stay vigilant, she winks at you, shattering the mask of a soldier. Okay, so I can look at the archive to learn things. And then there's journal. You need to confirm a note you're editing to save it. Notes are shared across all of your saves. I can make notes on things. Okay. Quests. Humans that I know. Groups and places. Bestiary. Glossary. Notes. Okay. Find the Roadwarden. Before I became the Roadwarden of this peninsula, a man known as Asterion used to patrol these roads. If I managed to find out what happened to him and bring the news to Tulia from the southern camp, I'll receive his abandoned belongings. Thank you for your help. You go to the barrel and splash water on your face, which makes you even more aware of how much you need a bath. After the night, it will only get worse. Your horse is already napping, still too anxious to lay down. I prepare for my watch. Oh man. Stay tidy to have a better chance to influence others. You don't stand out from the crowd, you won't get much cleaner without a proper bath. 2 out of 5, okay? More than I thought. The soldier in the shirt is eager to guide you. Just observe the area, there's plenty of griffins around, though they won't try to jump over the palisade. Probably. Better watch out for the apes, they climb up and carry out any food they can find, and there's this one really loud were-elk that keeps smelling the wall, though it's never tried to get in. He points at a gate. Lieutenant and I will block the entrances, they're quite heavy, so if anyone comes here looking for shelter, better call us to help you out. And if this someone is being chased by wolves or anything, better throw them the rope instead. He scratches his head. Gets cold, feel free to make a fire, and the best place is on the watchtower. You may want to put a blanket there or something. The watchtower. He gives you a long, puzzled look. Oh, here. He points at the pile of crates. Just climb up to the tallest one. You'll have a great view at the northern side, the more dangerous side. And also, I know you're tired after all that riding. He points at the tent on the other side camp. I can handle a couple hours of sleeping on the ground. If you wish, go there after me and rest. Just this once, at least I have a pallet inside. I smiled. Thanks a lot. Yeah, he's being nice. So we shall be nice in return. You put your blanket on the tallest crate and sit down. The night is warm, but the sporadic summer breeze brings gentle refreshment. From time to time, your back aches, and you have to force yourself to keep your eyes open. The light of the moon helps you focus on the tall grasses. For most of the time, you spot smaller critters and birds, but there are exceptions. At one point, you see 3 horned deer, trying to challenge one another. Before they clash their antlers, a 2-legged dragonling appears, leading its much smaller offspring. Furry beasts try to intimidate the predators with roars and aggressive head movements. After a few moments, both sides walk away slowly, not willing to risk the fight, nor to admit their defeat. Quick save. Wait, did I get a new journal thing? Weird. I thought I didn't. I thought it popped up here, but I was too slow. You hear the death screams of distant prey and the mating calls of monkeys. Runners are chasing a gray hare. A group of musk oxen lazily chew the grass, preparing themselves to sleep. Dusk fox, just nighttime, okay, is running together with the lynx, making playful screeches. Thankfully, you never have to intervene. You just sit there, watching the not-so-distant forest, trying to outlast your sleepiness. You can only guess how much time has passed. Once you feel you've had enough, you climb down and go to a tent, waking up the bearded man with just a couple of words. You confirm that nothing important has happened. I gather my things and squeeze into the tent. I use my bag as a pillow, put my blanket on the pallet, and cover myself with my cloak. Sleeping in a tent is not the stuff of dreams, but it's a much welcomed rest. Oh, what's that sound? The pallet keeps the cold soil away. The moonlight saves the outside world from eerie gloom. You listen to your own breath and find a comfortable position. Your job starts tomorrow. I focus on the real goal of my journey. Okay, that's another quest. Explore the peninsula. I need to explore the peninsula as thoroughly as I can. I have to get to know the locals and find out how much of a profit can be made here, then bring the news to Havlavan. I have to leave the peninsula on the 40th day of my journey or sooner. That's from the difficulty. To add worth to my work here, I could secure the roads by getting rid of any major threats and convince the tribes to negotiate with the officials. Soldiers told me about a large village that repeatedly uses necromancy, even though it's forbidden by law and can be extremely dangerous. I should take a look and judge for myself. The village is somewhere among the bogs by the northwestern road. Okay. The Merchant Guild wants to take control of this realm. Your wardening duties are secondary. First and foremost, you need to explore the peninsula, learn about the territory, resources, and threats. Get to know the locals, and if you can, convince them to consider negotiations with Havlavan officials and traders. Could the tribes resist the soldiers, or be a threat to the priests of the United Church? Are there any forbidden practices that need to be eradicated, such as blood magic, necromancy, robbery, or slavery? At least I have time, 40 days to be exact. I need to be as thorough as I can. Once you finish your reconnaissance, you should speak with Tulia and return to Havlavan. There you'll report back to your employers and get your reward. In the meantime, you have your own goal to pursue. Okay. I need to gather some extra coins so I can save my sibling from debt collectors. I need to gather some extra coins so I can retire early and live in prosperity and safety. Okay, so I need to pick a secondary goal. If I gather enough connections among the local leaders, I'll use them to become a major player in the Merchant Guild. I want to be remembered as the soul who brought peace and order to this realm, a hero. I just want to help people, make this region safer for the locals and newcomers alike. Or I need to find a new life for myself. I have a difficult past and I want it to be forgotten. Let's just help people. New shelter unlocked. New entry. Help others. You can't travel during the night. Press the sleep button to rest. Your half-asleep senses are catching the sounds of the wild forest. Your instincts keep you alert and anxious, though the pleasant, humid, late summer air evens it out slowly. You're thinking about your goal, but you need to gather your strength. All I can do now is rest. Well, let's read first. Help others. While I'm here, I want to help people. Okay, so these are my quests. Groups and places. We got Havlavan. Okay, let's sleep. Sleeping in a tent. You can spend the night in a borrowed tent. It's nothing special, but it will protect you from the wind and rain, and the ground won't be painfully hard nor cold. I will gain some appearance and lose some of my resources. Oh, plus, minus, minus. You're woken up by sunlight, well rested and ready. Without haste, you gather your things. After only a couple of breaths, you notice a weird smell, like a roast. No, burning meat. Burning, rotten meat. Disgust crawls into your consciousness. You exit the tent. Your horse is looking around nervously. Your bags are where you had left them. You see an open gate. 14 hours, 30 minutes before dusk. Day 1, 39 days before autumn. Both soldiers are standing near a humble pyre. The man in the shirt looks at it contemplatively. Julia is the first one to address you. Bri. She greets you with a nod. We use the horse's manure for the flames, so don't worry about cleaning it up. Okay. You see a corpse among the flames. It's impossible to tell if it belongs to a male or a female, but it was an adult. Burning process won't be over for a couple more hours. Traveler or an undead? The latter, a young one. She lacked the pneuma to understand that she couldn't get inside the camp without climbing. I stabbed her with a spear from a safe distance. She shifts her weight. One more fog and she'd be a real threat. Even now, it took a couple of hits to knock her down. Sooner or later, every human shell wakes up, gaining more strength with each soul it devours and each moment it spends in the fogs. Burning the dead is not just a religious practice, it's a necessity. Soldiers, priests, village mayors, even road wardens. Making a large pyre takes a lot of time, but it saves lives. Julia calls this undead a she. Most Unites hesitate to do so. Time for me to leave, guys. Running away from the reek, huh? I don't blame you. She walks with you for a few steps. Find us here if you need us, or if you learn what happened to Asterion. There's enough ground here for you to rest. Safe travels. These words make you stop, an old farewell, mocked in a number of songs and tales, but you hear no scorn in Tulia's voice. You wonder how many acts of kindness like this one you're going to experience in the days to follow. She returns to the pyre. Probably not very many. You somehow miss the fact that your mount is already saddled and warmed up. You double-check the equipment, but you don't need to fix anything. The soldiers were diligent. Normally, preparing any palfrey for a long journey takes a lot of time. You put on your gambeson and make sure that your axe is tightly attached to your belt. Then get in the saddle. The palfrey knickers. Ready to leave. It's time for you to get to the crossroads north of here. I need to ride north. Travel forward to continue the journey. Once you're done with the north, speak to Tulia. You return to Hoblabon. Map key. Oh, nighttime shelter. Tulia's camp. It's just Tulia's camp. Okay. Let us go. And time is it? Almost dusk. No, it's still 14 hours and 30 minutes. We're good. Even at a later hour, you wouldn't expect to meet any travelers in the valley. The warm summer breeze lures your mount forward, but the serene chirping of birds is quickly replaced by the distracting screeches and gurgles coming from further down the path. You soon find the pack of four-legged griffins. They're larger than foxes and merge the features of birds and furred beasts. Each one is of a different size, coat, and colors, and their temperaments are just as varied. Their fronts are covered with vivid feathers, while their rears have darker fur. Their wings are massive, making them impressive jumpers, but they're too heavy to fly. About 24 beasts are yelling, brawling, and chasing each other around, blocking your path. Consider my options. You can't enter the forest blindly. If these or other creatures were to chase after you, the thicket would be disastrous for your horse. There are reasons why travelers stay as close to the main roads as possible, and why adventurers move in groups. Usually, the safest approach would be to stay where you are and just wait for the pack to get hungry. It may, however, take up to a couple of hours. You're thinking about your conversation with Tulia. You've got a lot to do, and time may be of the essence. If you have vitality points, you can use the warrior's training to access unique interactions. Use violence or a direct threat. Okay. The dice icon marks the actions that involve a random chance. I take Max and hurry the horse. If we ride fast enough, we should be fine. Should stay here, better safe than sorry. Since we don't always get this, let's try to force. Getting through them should be easy enough. You can learn more about your abilities in the character sheet, okay? Slight, none, pagan, undetermined faith. I haven't lied. No sewing experience, no gambling experience, huh? Interesting. Bribe by the Roadwarden. Nice, so there's different options, so it can play out in quite a few different ways, I believe. Okay, initially your horse completely trusts your guidance, though after a few more steps it snorts. You prepare your axe and get ready to push away any griffin willing to jump on you. Once you get in the middle of the surprised herd, your mount squeals and gallops forward. Creatures in front of you flee, but others try to jump at you from both sides. You kick 2 of them away, and while the third one gets close, its beak lands only on your boot. The hard leather keeps you safe. You ride away, and the griffins can't keep up. You still hear their screeches when your mount slows down. I don't give them an opportunity to catch up with me. Keep track of your achievements as your journey unfolds. Reach the first crossroads. The road splits. According to what the soldiers have told you, you may find a safe inn by turning left. The forest to the right is lush and the trail overgrown. Kids used to have this song. How did it go? The harshest pathway leads to the dragon's lair. Those who search for treasure, do you truly there? The signpost in front of you doesn't make your situation much clearer. It was put here by someone who can't write. For folks who can't read, covered in old, red paint, it points east. Blood there, as people say, danger to be found. There's not a soul to ask for guidance. Look at my horse. Sodal is fine. I'm not good at naming things. We'll do Sodal. Sodal is peaceful as you stroke its mane. Maybe it can't help you choose a path, but you've spent many years together. Happy to go on. It takes a couple of steps forward. Bought a few berry shrubs and wild cabbages, but they still need at least 2 weeks to gain maturity. Okay, so we have to travel. Let's go left to the... Western wetlands. Currently here. Let's go west. To the inn. Sodal trots with ease, unbothered by the few branches covering the beaten road. The bird songs and distant howls draw your attention to the forest, which gets sparser and brighter. You spot boars, roe deer, and saurians. The sight of a nearby wolf pack worries you, but once you push your hips forward and your palfrey enters a canter, beasts don't even begin a pursuit. The speed alone will protect you from many dangers. You notice a stone tower taller than the trees. Must be the inn, exactly. Inns like this one fit the region traveled by merchants, but you wouldn't expect a place of this size in the Forsaken Peninsula. The stone and lumber must have been transported from far away, and the workers, guarded by expensive mercenaries, surely lived for many seasons in a primitive hamlet, subsisting on salted supplies. There are seemingly no cracks in the wall, and the building was whitewashed only a few years back. The road is wide and beaten. Dozens of souls could hide, if not in the buildings, then at least in the yard. The expenses and labor put into this fortress were worth many trading ships. 3 armed people are on the ramparts, though you only see what's above their waistline. They're leaning on the parapet, right next to the gate, and you think you notice a glimpse of a smile. They were gambesons, each one of them dyed differently, yellow, green, and linen gray. Save, always save. A woman in yellow armor leans forward. She has long, curly, disorderly red hair, pointing in every possible direction. This combination of colors doesn't work at all. In the woods, one would have to shout to draw this much attention. There's still a fair distance between the two of you, but she speaks loudly. I haven't seen a horse for years now. I just said that it's weird to see such a large jackass, huh? Her voice is young and strong, with an accent that reminds you of the villages spread around Havlavan. But no jackass would wear a saddle, I'd say. She exchanges a few words with the male guard wearing green, giving you time to move closer. Well, this one here says there really are donkey saddles. Say, traveler, how hard is it to ride a horse? Let's make a joke or witty comment, why not? I laugh. You wouldn't believe it. The lessons were a pain. You get off your horse and... Oh, imitate. Goodness, I can't read. You get off your horse and imitate the silly walk from the day that followed your first long journey, when your whole shell was crying. You illustrate the pain as you move your hand from your back to your hips and thighs. In return, the guards tell you about that time when they had to carry their friend with bitten off legs for 3 days straight through the heart of the woods. Meanwhile, the other guards open the gate. You may be in a good mood, the woman in the yellow jacket smiles at you. But don't get so noisy when you talk to our boss. The man never smiles. He has a world of suffering sculpted on his face. I'm getting hungry. Interesting. She leads you under the roof. Okay. The two unders messed me up, goodness. She leads you under the roof, under which your palfrey can rest, tethered with a cord to a wooden post. Here's some old hay. Once you're ready, go inside, speak with our boss. Maybe you're hungry. The other guards take care of various chores. They peek at your mount every now and then as they're splitting firewood, cleaning their clothes, weeding the garden patches, and moving chairs. 2 of them are making a rope. You head toward the inn, hearing the piercing scream of a boar from the other side of the yard. I open the door. Locked windows make the air stuffy, and the weak fire in the stove hardly lightens up the hall. You're an inn. In the morning you can spend the yard. Okay. Oh, I can. Okay, I see. A muscular man is sweeping the floor near the stairs, but after he glances at you, he leans the broom against the wall and heads behind the counter. You're lucky to show up. His voice is deep and soft, with the city-like accents. He observes you with keen attention, yet avoids your eyes. I have a keg of decent ale. Wormwood, bog myrtle, juniper berries, cat's foot. He fills the mug carefully and puts it on the countertop. It's going to spoil soon. Today, maybe. And we don't drink here before the even. I hate to see the good stuff going to waste. His skin is dark, almost purple, rare even among the southern tribes, and his hair is naturally bluish. Clothes are quite fancy for manual labor. The elegant tunic wouldn't stand out in the city square. Stand at the counter. It's almost nighttime, huh? Oh no, it's still 13 hours before dusk. Planks let out a creak after every step you make, so you slow down a bit. You could swear that the innkeeper made little to no noise. Here you go. He pushes the mug forward. But just so you know, my Pelt of the North doesn't belong to Havlavan. You can sleep on the floor if you wish so, but if you want a better meal, you have to pay. We may have some leftovers from dinner, but I need to check. Distanced, intimidating. No, we'll just be friendly. Be cordial. Thanks for the drink. I see you know how to make friends with the Roadwarden. You meet your eyes with a puzzled look, then grabs a wet cloth and starts to wipe down the shelves. From time to time, your conversation is interrupted by splashes of dirty water in a wooden bucket. Well, nothing is truly free. I have work for a soul of the road, but I don't need a new mouth to babble. He speaks slowly, yet audibly. I value my time. You should value yours. I'll drink the ale. He gave it to me for free. The dark room and wooden walls of the mug make the liquid look as brown as a chestnut. The lee and spring hits your nose, and the first sip is even too complex, too flowery. While the brewer has used fancy ingredients, the exotic licorice ruins the aftertaste. Now you know why there's so much left. Maybe it takes an acquired taste. The innkeeper nods. I was hoping to see someone willing to patrol the roads. Maybe you'll help me with a worrying thought I have, which is... There are brigands in the woods. Our place is a stronghold, so I'm not afraid of an open strike, but they've gotten more active in the last 2 years. One day they may steal our furs, and I've no doubt they're the reason why merchants have come here only once. Having bandits around gets expensive. He rubs his hands together, camouflaging his paws. I want you to reach Howler's Dell, northwest from here. It's the largest settlement around. I'm sure you'll get there sooner or later. Ask Thias, the mayor, about Glossia, that bloodthirsty wolf of a woman. I've heard rumors about a raid in the north. If Glossia is ready to break the truce with the locals, I'm willing to join forces with them to get rid of her band. He looks at a nearby dragon bone. Not too difficult, right? Just do it when you have a chance. A couple of days won't make much of a difference. I'll pay you 2 coins when you get back with the news. Fine? We'll do it. I can eat something. Do you have any leftovers? What do you ever sell? Anything to buy? Okay. We're actually going to save it. Because these are all my quick saves, yeah. Oh, there's a bunch of pages, so we're good. We're going to save it right here. I did save it manually. But that is actually all the time I have for today on Roadwarden. I would do a little bit longer of an episode. But like I said, I think I'm getting sick, and this is really taking a draw on my voice. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. It is a super atmospheric game with like the storytelling and everything. I am very excited to get more into it. Like I said, this first episode was just establishing and getting into the story a little bit and starting us out as a Roadwarden. So I'm excited to see where it goes. I will probably do at least a couple of episodes. If you guys want to see the full playthrough, by all means, let me know in the description down below. And yeah, that being said, hope you all have a good start to your new year. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye, everyone.